thanks very much for coming, first of all. I'm really excited to be here. Hopefully we're going to give you lots of useful information about the CDN, which is a content delivery network. I'll be talking a bit about that, and also going through a really exciting case study we've got as well about how to scale something from kind of 0 to 100 million plus hits. I'll introduce myself first of all, kind of give you a bit of history about where I've come from and how I've come to be in the position where I am and everything. My name's James Mulvany. CDNify is something I've recently founded. We actually launched on the 22nd of April, wasn't it, Mike? Yeah. So we've just literally gone live. We've been busy as crazy busy basically over the past month or so, just launching it and dealing with bugs and all this kind of stuff, which is normally associated when you launch a web product. Yep. Bit about my background. I've never had a job. Believe it or not, when I started school, I kind of didn't really know what I wanted to do, when I was coming into the end of school, and I kind of started getting into computers and messing around with building websites. Anyone remember GeoCities? I think I built my first website on GeoCities, and I kind of decided from an early age that I wanted to kind of make my living online, really. I decided that that was where the future was. This was back in 2003. So on my 16th birthday, I went to PayPal and registered an account, and you had to be 16 to have a PayPal account, so I had to wait until my birthday, and I remember I was very excited when I actually kind of set it up. And I think it just took me about over a month to make some money. I can't really remember what it was, but I made about 20 quid, which for someone sort of just finishing school is not bad, I suppose. But it meant I didn't have to go and kind of get like a part-time job, which was great. Fast forward a couple of years, went through sixth form, did A-levels, all that sort of stuff. During that time, kind of learnt a bit more about the web, started getting a bit more serious about things, and started thinking, well, what do I want to go and do at university? So I thought, I know I'm going to do interactive multimedia because that sounds really exciting and kind of a fancy title to have after your name. But at that stage, I wasn't even sure if I really wanted to go to university, because I thought, well, I've kind of self-taught myself a little bit of PHP and web development and all these kind of things. And by that stage, I was kind of earning a fairly good sort of part-time income. So I thought, well, should I bother with university? But I thought, why not? The social experience is gonna be great. So off I went to university. And when I was 18, I set up Igniso Limited, which is my company, which is the kind of like the umbrella company that owns CDNify. And we started building products and services for the web. And since then, I've kind of done lots and lots of bits and bobs. I've launched a few online brands, which range from successful to some horrible failures as well. Sort of over the years while I was at university, I sort of worked very hard, played very hard, made a lot of mistakes, but also learnt a lot in the process. And I think I became a little bit of a jack of all trades. So by the time I finished university, I wasn't really sure if I was a programmer, if I was a marketer, or if I was a designer, or what I was. I kind of just did a bit of everything, really. And I sort of did some consultancy work, and I started getting a bit annoyed with doing programming and things. I thought, I was finding it kind of a bit tedious towards the end, and so I sort of decided, well, okay, I'm going to sort of move away from there. And then I decided to move to Manchester, because I thought I went to university over in Huddersfield in West Yorkshire. It was great, but when my friends kind of moved away, it started getting a bit. It was a great student town, but not really a kind of good professional place to live, I think. So I came over to Manchester. I started recruiting. We're up to a team of 11 now. Believe it or not, we actually had someone start this morning, which is very exciting, a guy called Ben, who's a front-end developer. We're still hiring. We're always looking for good people. And I've always had the ethos, right from the word go, when I started hiring people, that finding the right people is the best way forward. So I think our team, I'm very proud of the team we've got at the moment, consists of highly intelligent people who are all really, really good at their jobs, and also get on and have a good time in the process. And I think that's really, really important. So I also kind of like people who are innovative. So not just people who are going to kind of bark on command and told what they do, but actually guys who will come in and say, well, how about trying this out, or how about trying that way, or let's do this differently. And so I think we sort of like to give people as much kind of creative freedom as we can. Over the past couple of years, we've pretty much tripled our revenue. We're still continuing to grow now, and I'm sort of moving into this area of developing new products, largely our history has been sort of focused around one brand, which I'm going to talk about in the case study. But CDNify is kind of like our next major step. And also, I'm always looking for new opportunities. One of the things I really like about being here and sort of seeing TechHub, and I've only just discovered this over the past couple of months really, is all of these kind of meetings, which are really fantastic, and sort of seeing how Manchester is slowly sort of shaping into a tech destination. I still think it's fair to say it's got quite a long way to go in comparison to sort of London or Silicon Valley, etc. But I do think there's something exciting going to happen in Manchester, and I think it's kind of a good place to stay around. It's certainly been a good place for me to grow a business over the past 3 years. So let's just talk about CDNify. We've just launched a content delivery network, and what I'd like to do now is show you a bit of a video which explains what CDNify is and actually what a CDN is. Just a quick show of hands, who actually understands what a CDN is? Okay, so quite a few people, that's good. So cue the video, and after that we are going to have a little bit of a break, some initial questions before we get into the case study, and some examples of tools we've been using to speed up web performance.
A CDN, or Content Delivery Network, is the fastest way to quickly deliver your content to the people who matter most, your users. So let's say your awesome startup is based in San Francisco, but your customers are based all over the world. So every time someone visits your site, your content is delivered all the way from the server which is hosting it. And the further away from your server that your customers are, the slower your website is for them. With CDNify, we take your website's content and distribute it across our network of servers. That way, whenever someone visits your site, we deliver it from the server which is closest to them. And a faster loading website makes your users happier, improves your Google rankings, and increases your conversion rate. By deploying your content across our servers, CDNify provides you with the reliability and flexibility to scale in the cloud, which means you can focus on the things which are important to you, building an amazing experience for your customers.
All right, so I think we're going to take a quick break now. Hopefully the pizza will be here momentarily. Any questions so far? No? Okay, yep.
I was going to ask about the boosting your Google rankings. I understand that will happen, but are they, when they measure you, are they measuring you from the US, or if you say you're based in the UK, are they measuring you based on from the UK, or what?
I think ultimately, if you've got a .co.uk site, Google will have bots, crawlers all over the world, effectively distributed like a CDN. So I think if they can see that your site is targeted towards a UK audience, I don't know this, but as a guess, their algorithm would say, okay, how fast is this site loading for people in the UK? I know in SEO terms, it's good to have your site hosted on a UK server if your audience is in the UK. But aside from that, I can't give you a definite answer. What do you think?
Well, I know there's a setting in analytics when you submit a website.
Yeah.
I don't know if webmaster tools or analytics, but you can say it's targeted at.
Yeah.
But I just wonder how much that actually affects the whole ranking thing. It's all
I mean, yeah, it is very, yeah. I think there's a
about their algorithms and things like that, aren't they? But from what I read, it's not like it's if you do everything else for SEO and you need a boost, then site speed will make a difference.
Yeah, and I think again, it's just like now because there's so many websites online, they're having to find more and more ways to, set good sites apart from not so good sites, from bad sites. And I think if you're if your site, I mean, most sites load reasonably quickly anyway, but occasionally you'll go on a website and it's really slow, and obviously that's not a good experience for customers. So Google will need to sort of pick up on that. But I think, I don't think it matters too much in terms of like if it's really quick versus like, if you're not sending customers away, then you probably won't have any issues, I wouldn't imagine. Yeah.
Latency through mobile networks, really is 200 milliseconds. Do CDNs make any difference to mobile network?
Well, yeah, I mean, absolutely, because I mean, if you think about a mobile phone downloading data, it's kind of obviously in its nature, it's a device that moves around. So if you're downloading data from a site in Manchester, CDNs are great, especially kind of, in terms of our points of presence for CDNify. We've kind of got a strong presence throughout Europe and the US. So in the UK, if you're viewing a site in Manchester, the content delivery network will serve content from a server in Manchester, and if you're down south, it would serve the content from London, which obviously kind of makes a speed difference because the distance involved.
So even if you're UK based, you can still get that sort of benefit.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it'll be minor, but I mean, it's mainly a case of like if your site is hosted in the USA, obviously it's got to make the trip across the pond physically, which means the latency is going to be higher.
So we have pizzas, or shall I ask another question?
Let's have pizza. We'll cut some more questions later, shall we? Yeah. All right. Let's go eat.